Hello, this is Rebecca again. Today I want to talk about advice. I was recently, shall we say, chastised for giving bad advice. And I'm not going to say who the person was, but let me discuss giving advice. I know that being an older person, I tend to give advice about stuff. And it's usually in the guise of, well, this is what worked for me. When I lived with my daughter and my son-in-law, there were times when my daughter would have something crop up. And I would say, well, when I had a problem like that, and she would cut me off. And she would say, Mom, I don't need your advice. And she might not even remember. She might have been just that stressed. She doesn't even remember doing that. But it really hurt me. And I had to just draw back and say, okay, maybe it's just not personal. Maybe she's just flustered. But let me give a little advice on giving advice to folks, especially when you're younger. Older folks want to give advice to you. But even for older folks getting advice from, say, your children, sometimes they have the wisdom needed for stuff. Okay? The thing is, when it's somebody you care about, you really should hear them out. Because they care about you. They want the best for you. They're not going to just tell you some bullshit. Okay? It may or may not be something that's going to work for you, and that's fine. Okay? But you hear them out, and, depending on how they are, and you know how they are, I'm kind of an open person, so if you hear me out and then you say, well, thank you for that, but I'm not going to go with that this time. I'd be like, okay, cool. Because whenever people give advice, it's based on their knowledge, their wisdom, okay, what they've learned over the years. Either it happened to them, it happened to somebody that they know, or they read about it, okay? So it's all based on a frame of reference. It doesn't always work for everything. Obviously, anybody who's got some intelligence knows that. Not everything works for 100% of circumstances. Very few things, okay, work for 100% of circumstances. So if you've got somebody who cares about you, wanting to give you advice, hear them out, and then if they'll take it, you can tell them, thank you very much for that, but I don't think I'm going to use that. If they won't take it, just say thank you and go do whatever the hell you want to do. Okay? But sometimes they'll either have good advice or they may have something that will spark your thought process into thinking out what you would like to do. So, okay, I've suffered depression a lot of my life. Okay? And if somebody came to me and said, well, when I was depressed, I started working in the garden and that made me happy. Okay. I'm not really that much of a garden person. But that could spark me to think, okay, so what did they do? They did something outside of themselves. And then that would spark me to go, well, I've been wanting to take this class, or I've been wanting to write more, or do a YouTube channel, whatever it might be. So sometimes, even if the advice isn't actually what you need, sometimes the advice will spark you to come up with your own idea. So advice can be very valuable, even when it's from somebody that doesn't have the answers. Okay? I hope this has been good for you. I hope it's been at least a little entertaining, perhaps. And just value people. Whether they're older than you, younger than you, everybody has their wisdom. And just value them and love them. Have a great day.